when COVID hit, everything shut down. Did you have any doubts? Were you ever, I guess, did you ever think like, oh shit, like this might not work out?
Definitely, yeah. So yeah, I was pretty scared. I don't think I've ever told anyone this. Maybe I told my a friend of mine that's also a realtor, but I remember I was watching this video. It was Meet Kevin actually. He was interviewing his name's Chandler something. He owns a whole bunch of rental units. He's a pretty well known guy, and he was talking about how he made $90,000 a summer in Michigan by selling pesticides door to door. And I was like, this sounds like maybe this is more for me if real estate's not going to work out. So so I looked into that a little bit, and then I remember I think it was Ryan Serhant, another real estate agent, really well known, that said you can't have a plan B if you want to make it in real estate. And I was like, nope. Like I quit my job the previous December 2019, to go like all into real estate. So I'm not going to let myself go against what I said and have a plan B. So I'm going to stick to it.
I love it. I love it. Going through that whole process, setting maybe COVID aside for a second, what would you say, you did right and you did wrong starting in real estate? What kind of recommendations do you have?
So I think I did the right thing by getting into it young. Pretty much, I mean, everyone outside of real estate, family and friends and whatnot, all said I was doing the wrong thing. And everyone I met in real estate, every other realtor that I've ever met said you did the right thing. Like, I wish I had done it your way.
I love that.
So if anyone out there is listening and wants to get the real estate license and maybe they're younger, don't even think twice about it. Just go ahead and do it because I mean, you're so young. Even if I lost everything right now, I still have another 60 years to figure things out, you
Oh my
know?
God, yeah. I mean, at such a young age, even in your 20s and even in your 30s, I mean, you have the opportunity that older people just don't have, right? I mean, you literally
Right.
can lose everything and it's not obviously that would hurt. Obviously that'd be bad, but you can recoup from that in your own lifetime. You know what I mean? You can come back
Right.
and even if stuff goes wrong, and correct me if you think differently, you will have experiences, connections, and lessons learned from what you're trying to do, striving to, achieve something that you can take with you in any sort of industry. I mean, do you agree with that?
Oh yeah, 100%. You learn so much from making mistakes, obviously.
Hmm.
So it's better to make those mistakes than to not have the experience at all, right?
Absolutely. So, what's been the main plan for you moving forward? How are you generating leads? How are you getting deals? What's working for you?
So right now, my two main sources of lead generation are cold calling and door knocking.
Okay.
So when I cold call, I'm calling either expired listings, so listings that were on the market and basically the contract was up before the house sold. So if you write a contract for, say, I'll give you 6 months to sell my house, and it doesn't sell in those 6 months, then it's expired.
Mm.
So it shows up in a service that my team pays for, and it'll have it finds their phone numbers of the sellers and whatnot. So you call them and basically, long story short, try to get them to list with you.
Hmm.
And then for door knocking, basically we go around because prices are so high right now. We can take advantage of that. People have a lot of equity, even if they bought a year or two ago. So we go into these neighborhoods and basically say, hey, we sold your neighbor's house for 1.5 million, and you bought for you're in it at $1 million. So would you want to take advantage of that equity?
Yeah. No, I mean, home prices, I can imagine they're crazy like they are here.
Mm-hmm.
I just went through the home buying process myself. I bought my first home, and the process was awful because not because of the people, my realtor was fantastic, but home prices are so crazy. I mean, we're shopping well under 200K, and we were still getting beat out. We were offering 10K over asking, you know, and we were getting crushed by like 25K over asking cash, like no questions asked, and it's like we can't compete with that. Um, so the I would imagine the frenzy that's going on right now has provided some incredible opportunities for you.
Yeah, definitely. It's definitely pushed prices up. Um, and me specifically, I target sellers because honestly, right now, I don't want to work with buyers
It's
because
been
it just
insane.
doesn't make sense. Yeah.
Where are people going that are selling homes right now? Because I'd imagine, you take advantage of that equity, you sell a home. What are you seeing? Like, is it people that have two homes that are selling right now, or are people sizing up? What typically happens, you think?
Right. So in the luxury market, things are a little bit different. We see more more average price homes like in that 345 range, all the way up to probably 600,000 or more, like the average range homes. And those people are tending to just cash out on their equity to buy a bigger home, a nicer home. So if they can pull $200,000-300,000 in equity out of their home, well, probably not at that price point. If they can pull out $100,000 in equity,
Yeah.
they can use that for a pretty hefty down payment on
Yeah.
maybe a little bit nicer of a home, basically.
Gotcha.
Especially with rates being so low right now, that's a big advantage of it. So
Hmm.
they can get a super low rate and have a monthly payment, pretty similar to what they had at the last one, even.
I love that. What kind
Yeah, and
of?
some people, oh, sorry.
No, you go. Shoot.
Yeah, so other people, one guy, he sold his house here, cashed out a ton of equity, and he had a second home that he owned in Park City, Utah. So they just wanted to live there. I know recently there was this home that was selling. The sellers, it was like, their fourth or fifth home, something crazy like that, that they just wanted to take advantage of the market. Some people are renting for a year to see what happens with the market. Other people just want to move for other reasons, want to downsize, want to upsize. So there's tons of reasons why people are selling.
Yeah, absolutely. What are you? I mean, how do you see this all kind of playing out? Do you think things are gonna relax soon, or do you think it's gonna be this way for a while?
Well, I mean, it's really hard to tell, and of course, I can't make any predictions. So disclaimer here.
Not financial advice.
Yeah, not financial advice. I mean, rates going up a little bit is kind of maybe unnerving a little bit.
Okay.
But as far as inventory, if inventory stays super low, then prices are going to stay right about where they are because there's still a super high demand in Vegas with people coming from California pretty much, and the city's constantly growing. But so with that high demand and super low inventory, prices are probably going to stay right where they are. Of course, that depends on rates. That could affect things a little bit. But I've heard talks. I'm not saying anything, but I've heard people talking about possibly some foreclosures coming into the market, and that obviously means more homes on the market, which would affect the inventory, which could affect demand.
Absolutely. No, that's sweet. I appreciate your take on it. Selfishly, I'm already looking at the equity because my home's already appreciated. I'm like, damn, I wish I could take advantage of that somehow. But
Yeah.
I'm curious to know, man, do you do any goal setting? Are you doing any, like, how are you kind of setting goals and like working towards them in your mind? Do you have certain numbers you try to hit? What's that actually look like for you on a day to day basis?
Yeah, so actually, my team, it's a thing that my team leader kind of assigns to us. We have these mindset journals, we call them. And every day, I have it right here actually. So we write down, this has been a game changer for me, by the way. We
What's it
write down
called?
10 things we're grateful for,
Okay.
three things that made me happy in the last 24 hours. And then we write what we earn 25 times over. So for me, it's I earn $115,500 per year or more. And then we write 10 affirmations. Then after that, we say, am I getting closer to my goals? Yes.
I love that, bro. I love real estate, just people in real estate because y'all go so crazy with like the affirmations, like the goal setting. I actually on my wall right here, you can actually probably see just the bottom of it. This right here is a sheet from a guy named Kevion. I'm not sure if you're familiar with him. He's a realtor out in Los Angeles.
Yes,
But
I do know Kevion actually.
yeah, so his goal setting sheets and stuff are so good, and he puts them out for free for other realtors. But I use it, even though I'm not in real estate, just to try to map out my goals. Like you guys go so uber specific, and it's something that I think other industries are way behind on because it's not like your industry is so brutally competitive that I feel like you guys always need to be on your A game in order to like actually grow and continue to be better.
Mhm.
Do you think the same sort of thing, or why is it that real estate is so like goal forward and, you know, just planning and affirmate, like all that sort of stuff? Why do you think so many people do that in real estate?
It probably seems like a lot of people do because the people that do talk about it, right?
True.
Like Kevion.
Yep.
But honestly, if we're being real, it's probably something like 90% of realtors aren't doing something like this. And 90% of realtors aren't practicing sales scripts on a daily basis.
So do you think that that's what makes a difference for the 10% or the top 1% of like realtors? Do you think it's that sort of stuff that makes the difference?
Definitely. Yeah. I mean, it's the practice and I mean, really being like committed to it. I mean, there's 18,000 agents, I think, in Vegas now. And right now, there's 1,927 homes on the market.
Oh man.
So obviously, there's a lot of agents that aren't doing any business right now.
Yeah.
Right.
Yep. That's pretty
And
crazy, man.
the top 1% of the agents are doing probably 90% of the business, or at least the top 10% are doing 90% of the business.
Yeah, I think it's like the what's that rule? Like the 80-20 rule. I think that's pretty
Yep.
consistent. Like 20% of the people are doing 80% of the work. 20% of your work results in 80% of your results. That sort of stuff. I think that's probably the case. I mean, I know it's crazy here. You know, Dante, who's been on the pod,
Mhm.
who's my realtor, he talks to me about the same sort of thing, man. It's just absolutely insane how many realtors there are. And yeah, to me, it seems like all you guys are always goal setting, you know, talking about that stuff, but it's clearly, you know, I just hear and see the ones who are doing really good, obviously. So,
Yeah.
what kind of tips and what kind of skills and stuff are you pulling from some of these, you know, sales classes or like practices or, you know, goal setting sort of practices that you can share with us and any listener who might not be an agent but might be able to pull some stuff? Are there any gems you've heard or things that you can share with us?
Yeah, I think it's just a matter of like really, really embracing like the being and like really like when I say I earn 115.5 per year or more, like I feel that when I'm writing that 25 times a day, every day, like I feel that like in my soul, like I make $115,500 a year or more. Someone asked me like, oh, how much do you make? Like, oh, last year I made this year I'm making 115.5. Like I know it and I feel it.
Mm-hmm.
So it's just a matter of like not convincing yourself, but like knowing and really feeling what you can do and then just going and doing it. Because it's like the rule of attraction. Have you heard of that?
Oh yes,
Have
talk
you
to
ever,
us
have you
about
ever
it.
watched The Secret? Anyone watching, you better go watch The Secret.
I've
All right,
not
it's
watched it. I've
real.
read the book. I love the book.
Yeah.
I can actually
Yeah.
I can actually share. So I'm not sure if the movie's the same way, but in the book, at the end of it, they have you like practice manifestation, right? They want you
Mhm.
to go through an exercise and like prove to yourself that that shit's real. So I was sitting on my bed. I was still living at my mom's house when I read this book, and I was like, what would be the craziest thing? Like, if I could manifest something out of thin air, what would be the craziest thing? And I was like, man, my mom's a health nut. If my mom brought me peanut butter pie, that would absolutely blow my mind. My mom's had never brought me home a slice of pie a day in my entire life. Never happened. She's a health nut. She doesn't eat that stuff, right? She doesn't want me to eat that stuff. So I was like, I'm gonna manifest peanut butter pie, right, into my life. I'm not gonna go get it. I don't know who will give it to me, but it's not coming into the house like normally. Dude, swear to God, I manifest it, I write it down, I go through all the motions, right? I believe it. Swear to God, 3 hours later, she walks into the house with a slice of peanut butter pie and is like, hey, my friend had this, and I swear I just thought of you when I saw it and I thought you might like it. I almost cried. I almost sat there and just cried when she did it because I was like, this is the craziest thing. And I
Wow.
fully embrace manifestation, like fully believe in it, try to execute it daily, try to write things down. um, and sorry to kind of hijack this, but I think this is so
Oh, you're
important.
good.
Just yesterday, I came into an absolute shitstorm. like absolute shitstorm. Like everything was going wrong in the morning. People were making bad decisions. Like stuff wasn't being communicated. Orders were going wrong. And for us, that's, hundreds of thousands of dollars. So I was panicking because now being in a family business, my decisions impact others. My failure as a leader impacts a lot of other people. And I was really pissed. I mean, like really getting super frustrated. And I sat down and I said out loud to myself over and over and over again, I said, everything's good, they'll buy more. Everything's good, they'll buy more. Like, and I played some happy music and I kind of just meditated and manifested like a positive phone call. Made the phone call, the customer explained what was going on. I was in a good mood, I was in a positive mindset. I like brought myself out of the negativity. They understood, hung up the phone, everything was good. They called me back a couple hours later and put in an order for more. So fully embrace manifestation. I'm sorry to hijack it for a second, but
Oh, no, you're good.
dude, it changes your life fully. I would love to hear your take on it and any experience you have with it.
Yeah, I mean, it really does. Like, I mean, it's just real. You got to try it. People that don't believe it, like, just haven't tried it yet. And at first, it's like, you hear about the secret. It's like, no, that can't be real. Like, it just doesn't make sense. You can't just think about something and believe it and that it actually happens out of nowhere. But it does. Like, it's the law of attraction. Like when you write down how much you want to make 25 times a day and you feel that in your being, like you're gonna subconsciously do the things that you need to do to get that. And it happens.
And dude, you see, I'll take you a step further. You ever heard of quantum physics?
Mm-hmm.
So quantum physics is basically the law of attraction, up a notch, and it talks about your energy and how the universe has everything that you want and desire, and you essentially need to put the energy out there, and with the law of attraction, attract it. And there's studies on it, there's books, there's TED Talks, everything. This stuff, if you're listening and you're not familiar with it, this will change your life fully. I've seen people get put onto this stuff and very, very quickly like change how they operate, which changes how they execute, which changes their results instantly, like very, very quickly. Um, Honestly, I think that's part of the reason why I get to have conversations with people like you. Like, I believe I like manifest these conversations, these relationships. So I don't know, man. Sorry again, I hijacked your
Oh
interview,
no,
but
you're good. Not at all.
that's pretty cool, man. I think I think that'll definitely set you apart. What does the next 5 years look like for you? Like, what kind of goals are you thinking about? Are you trying to sell in a certain dollar range? Talk to us about how you're planning on getting there.
Yeah. So right now I'm focused on million plus. So ideally 1.5. Um, and then slowly over time, I'm going to, once I get comfortable, and then I think I'm going to, once I reach a certain point, certain income working in that range, then I want to extend myself to the higher price points. Obviously, the sooner I can do that, the better. It's just a matter of basically manifesting those people. So attracting people in that price range into my life. So being at the right place at the right time
Hmm.
and being around people that are buying $2-3 million homes.
So, what's stopping you from doing that now?
Um, that's a good question. So recently my team leader, he's been his average price point is like 1.4 right now. And he brought this up recently. He was like, it kind of dawned on me, like I want to make more money and sell higher price homes. So why don't I just focus on the neighborhoods that have higher price homes? Do the same thing I'm doing now, but in higher price neighborhoods. And right now, for me, it's basically because we have so much credibility in these $1 to $2 million neighborhoods. Our team does. We have so much recognition, basically, and we've sold a lot in those neighborhoods that I can really leverage that to get more. And on top of that, a $3-4 million home, those are sitting on the market for 100+ days. Whereas right now, in the 800 to 1.5, even up to like 1.9 range, things are just flying off the market in like 2 weeks.
So you can probably push a lot more volume in that than you would be able
Right.
to in the higher range. Is that kind of what you're saying?
Right. Yeah, definitely. But of course, once we do start breaking into those higher price neighborhoods, then I'll be able to leverage that a little bit more. But as for right now, like honestly, I'm still kind of getting comfortable. Maybe you're making me realize that I need to switch gears a little bit.
You got to stay uncomfortable. That's the only way to
Yeah.
keep going. But
Right.
um, what is do you plan on taking your income and investing in any way? Are you investing currently? What's your sort of philosophy with that, if you have
Yeah.
any?
So I invest in stocks like kind of here and there. I'm really not on any like certain like a set in stone plan.
Yeah.
Which I need to do that. I need to get a Roth IRA and I need to start investing on a regular basis. But as of right now, it's kind of just like $3, $4, $500 a month usually,
Mm-hmm.
and I'll just switch that over to my Robinhood account and put it into whatever I'm feeling. Usually it's EXP stock, which is my real estate brokerage because I believe in the business model.
Nice.
Yeah, or earlier in the year of 2020, I bought the dip when everything crashed, so I bought into Delta Airlines, American Airlines, I think Carnival Cruise Lines, General Electric, a
Nice.
couple other basic stocks. And then I have mutual funds that I've had for years. I've been slowly buying into those. My parents set it up for me, so I've been putting my birthday money in there for years.
Nice, man. No, I love it. I guess what I'm getting at is you talked about all these different content people on the internet, and a lot of them preach, real estate, multifamily homes, stocks. Is that the game plan for you? I mean, you're 19, you're super young, so I wouldn't expect you to be like, yeah, man, I got it all ironed out. But are you thinking like that, or are you thinking like I'm gonna just do something else?
No, so the plan is definitely invest in real estate.
Okay.
Right now, where I'm at, I don't have 2 years of income to be able to buy a house, but I'll have that at the end of 2021. And then I'll be good to go. I'm still kind of tossing the idea around, like what I really want to do. The multifamily market here in Vegas is not that great, and they're pretty rare here, honestly. So I think I'm going to take the meet Kevin route, if you know that. So the Burr method, I'm sure you've heard of that.
Mm-hmm. Do you want to
So
explain that method a little bit to anyone who's listening that might not be familiar?
yeah, so Burr is BRRR. Buy, renovate, refinance, rent, repeat. And maybe I did that out of order.
I think it's buy,
Buy,
renovate, rent.
renovate, rent, refinance, repeat.
Yep.
Yeah. Yeah.
Golden.
So basically buy kind of a fixer upper, something that's pretty basic, not anything over the top. Just, I'll probably end up getting for what I want to spend here. Like which cash flow is not great in Vegas, by the way. It's more of a long-term investment here. But we'll probably end up getting like a 3 or 4 bed, 2 or 3 bath, 2,000 square foot house for 350 maybe. And then, yeah.
Yeah, man,
Yeah.
that's so crazy. I'm sorry to cut you off, but just thinking about the difference in markets, like I always hear people talk about in Syracuse, I go to all these, I'm not a real estate investor in like multifamilies or anything. I just own my home. And I always hear people talk about how like all these people are coming in from out of state to invest in Syracuse. And it never made sense to me until I realized you can have 3 or 4 tenants in a $100,000 to $200,000 home. And it's like, oh, the cash flow is just much crazier here as far as like what the home actually costs.
Yeah, I've actually looked into Syracuse a little bit. Because then I could, that'd give me an excuse to write off trips back home, which would be cool.
Nice.
But I mean, the cash flow is good there, but the laws are so in favor, from what I've heard anyway. I haven't looked that deep into it, but the laws are really in favor of the tenant. Whereas in Vegas, you can get someone out in a matter of a couple of weeks. Whereas I've heard stories about in anywhere in New York, really, you can't evict the tenant for months and months, and it just keeps getting extended for whatever reason. But I've heard a lot of people getting beat up from that.
Absolutely. Just to touch back on the Burr method, I mean, most of the time, and correct me if I'm wrong, the goal is to buy, like you said, a little bit of a fixer upper, get it up to maybe like a rentable cleanliness,
Mhm.
stature. Um, Rent it, find renters, and then essentially, correct me if I'm wrong. You want to refinance it. What that means is getting a new mortgage to try to pull all the money that you originally put in out of it and still retain maybe 25 to 20% of equity in the home, right? Is that kind of the
Right. Yeah. So it's basically about getting the right deal, buying at the right price, and fixing it up to a point where it'll appraise for pretty significantly higher value than what you paid for it, and then doing a cash out refinance so you can pull that equity out in the form of cash and use that to buy the next deal.
and that gives you your money back so you can go do it again, but now you have equity in the home and you have a cash flowing asset, right?
Right.
So, and that kind of plan gives you the ability to essentially leverage your money over and over and over again and
Hmm.
build wealth extremely quickly, right? I mean, that's the
Right.
okay, cool. Dude, I'm gonna watch from afar and see you crush it. That's pretty exciting. Um, what tell us like what's up next? What are you working on? What's coming up? And that sort of stuff.
Yeah, I mean, I've got a couple things in the works. Really, just focused on, like I said, getting more listings right now,
Hmm.
getting as many deals done as I can, pretty much taking advantage of this super hot market that we're in right now. Basically, just that's it right now. I mean, kind of focus more in the short term right now.
Hmm.
Basically, just hit my goals for the year. Like I said, that 115.5.
Are you on track?
Yeah, I'm on track.
Good stuff, brother. Love to
Yeah,
hear it. That's awesome.
yeah. So yeah, pretty excited about that. And then next year, I'm gonna more focus my goals on not focus, but I'm also gonna throw in the investing side. So hoping to get into a property by next year.
Nice, dude. Nice.
Yeah.
Awesome. Is there anything you want to cover as far as real estate or anything like that that we haven't touched on?
No, I think we covered most of it.
Hell yeah. Hell yeah, brother. Lots of gems, lots of value. We hit on a little bit of mindset, a little bit of coaching, a little bit of real estate investing stuff. Lots of gems in here. We summarized it quick. I think Zoom says we're going on 50 minutes, but that was awesome, brother. Thank you so much for coming on the pod.
Yeah, man. Thanks for having me.
Where can people find you? Where can people connect with you?
Instagram is the best place. It's Adam.Rein, Rein. Or yeah, that's probably the best place. I got a TikTok too, but Instagram is the main place.
Awesome. You on Clubhouse yet?
Not on Clubhouse yet, no.
We got to get you
Also,
on Clubhouse.
I'm gonna be getting on YouTube soon though. I've got a couple things filmed already. Working on scripting out a few more, getting those filmed. So
Nice.
YouTube will be launching soon, where I'll go more into depth on some of the stuff we talk about, lead generation, how much I made, stuff like that.
Hell yeah. When that comes out, we'll link it down below.
All right,
Sound good?
sound good.
Awesome, brother. I'm looking forward to seeing it. This has been Free Coffee. Rob Riley, uh, Adam Rain, and Kelvin McChesney behind the edits. This was lit. Thank you, brother. I really appreciate you taking the time to do this. Drop so many gems.
Yeah, thank you.